Greetings and welcome to the Inner Den. I feel like I blinked and here we are. It's like we were here yesterday. The time shift over this from this session to last session was a blink for me. I'm very curious to hear how it was for you guys. I had a very intense week, but I would love to hear Anne Marie's packing and moving adventure. Where are you at in your process?
Oof. I thought I had donated as much as I was gonna donate, and I filled my car again and donated yet again. I found a box of hangers, and I sometimes it's OCD, maybe you want all those hangers to be the same, and I had some white ones that were a little different, and, yeah, I put a bag together and did all that, but, yeah, I ended up with a full carload again, getting rid of stuff that I'm just not attached to this stuff anymore. There's just too much stuff. And I was saying a little earlier, this spot on my counter, when I sat here and looked at Zoom, I went, "Oh, what can you see? Okay, that's my office back here and the driveway, and here had stuff on it." So I just pushed it over out of the picture. I washed my sheets today, so we're at that point, we're doing those kinds of things. And I've been writing all day, so it feels like I'm slowly getting there. I haven't made very I've made breakfast a few times, like eggs, steak and eggs, but dinner, I'm still burritoing. Oh, and I went to Nature's Fair and got a salad a couple of times, which has chicken and sweet potatoes and corn and black beans and avocado in it with a nice dressing. But I'm getting there. I think there's more that has to go. And I don't have hardly any storage. I have that shed outside, but this is the actual front door, and I come in through the garage door, and this hallway seems to be a little place to put the vacuum and the my water storage and a few things. So I think I'm gonna just put a curtain across here and put stuff that I use, not stuff to just hide, but like I just because I don't have anywhere to put stuff. So, anyway, so it feels like I'm slowly getting there. I don't know. There's
Mhm.
still and right over there, there's a fridge in my living room, and that's gotta go.
Is that an extra fridge?
Yeah. When I had kids, it was full, both my fridges were full all the time, and in my office here, I have a stand-up freezer, which is full. But now that I don't have kids, I'm gonna sell this fridge. But yeah.
It's a whole new life you're stepping into, right? This
Yes, it
it's
is.
that timeline shift, and this move has forced it to even go faster because you're being forced to purge and rearrange in a smaller space, and it's really cool to witness because it reminds me of when I did it.
No kidding. When you have no choice, right? It's, "Okay, it's gotta go."
Yep. The unlearning and the undoings are real, and you are active in it. It's really cool to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, very much.
Christina, how is your adventure going?
My adventure doesn't feel very adventurous right now, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Do you have more time off?
Yeah, so I am off. My plan is to go back on Tuesday, May 19th, which in Canada, we have a long weekend that weekend in May. So I'll go back on the Tuesday and then the follow those 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of May, to just do maybe 2 days the first week back, then 3 days, and then in June go into full time again. So that is my plan, and I'm still waiting on referrals, appointments, and things like that. So hopefully we can get most of that done before I have to go back, but I can only be off for so long. And I'm starting to feel a little bit energized, starting to figure some stuff out. And yeah, my youngest son came in today from Edmonton. I picked him up at his bus. He's off visiting friends already because that's what they do when they're like 20, 21. And he's going to be here until Monday.
Nice.
I feel like you're getting more energy back. So that is nice to see and feel. that vitality coming back slowly every week. It just gets better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michonne, how's it going over there?
Good, yeah, and I will just say, Christina, your energy even seems different
Okay.
coming through the video and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yes. Been a quick week and I'm like, what all happened in there? It's a little bit of a blur. But yeah, I've been getting ready for an event that I'm doing for a private group on Friday and also getting ready to do one of the projects at my house that's going to start over the weekend. So I've been getting stuff delivered supplies wise for that. Yeah, just feeling like I got a lot of irons in the fires in a lot of places. Got approached to help with a project that one of our previous retreat guests had asked me to get involved with. So I'm got debriefed on that this weekend and got a little bit of homework and assignments. Looking forward to partaking in that and dabbling in a new creative area. Yeah, that's where things are at here.
On Friday, are you having a fire ceremony?
Do we get to know?
No, it's an arrow break, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of times I work the arrow breaks into the firewalks, but this is a standalone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My week consisted of, again, more doctors visits and assessment reviews and all of that, and 2 different psychologists that I've been working with both diagnosed me with CPTSD. So it's interesting to know it and go through it and have tools and work with tools, and then still struggle and go back to Western medicine and then get a diagnosis. It's been a very interesting experience. And I can remember our teachers saying sometimes the Western medicine needs to happen. So I'm in this integration space of, okay, this piece of paper says this. It confirms a lot of what I've been going through. And it also is not a box. I will not let it box me. So but there's also something somatically that has shifted since I had the reviews or whatever. There's just this calm has come in because when we do this work, especially when we go into shadow work, we're doing shadow work because we're like, what's going on? Why do I feel this way? Why does this kind of stuff still keep coming up? The dig. And so to actually have something show up clear on paper. Also, of course, we're doing a neuropsych assessment. There's like the report's 22 pages long. So it wasn't just, oh, you have CPTSD. And so to go through all of the testings and the numbers and the percentiles and all of that, it's also why we dig into astrology, right? You guys love numbers. This case, I like numbers because it shows me as a human where I sit with all the other humans. Because I think when we do this work and we want to quantum leap and we want to make the changes, we're watching Anne Marie do the move and all the things like that. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what humans do here. But when you have numbers that kind of say, this is where you are in the human experience, it's cool. Okay, maybe I'm not doing so bad on this planet. Oh, and actually, here's some places where I'm actually really excelling. Oh, and here's some places that, you know how I always joked about math is not my thing and numbers are not my thing and it makes my skin crawl. We would joke about it so many times on the podcast here. It's in the paperwork. It's in the paperwork. So, yeah. And so it's just spending the last couple of days digesting the information. And we talk about that. What's the next step? I just feel this more clarity coming in because I have data. And I'm not usually a data driven kind of person. That's your guys' field. But this data is coming in a different way. And of course, I had to laugh. You guys will get a kick out of this because it was through Work BC, and they're trying to basically make you go back into the matrix and work, right? They want to make you a worker bee. And so you fill out this big thing that says what kind of things you like to do. And then it comes back and tells you what jobs you'd excel at. Just like, I'm not interested in being a disc jockey. You're like, no. And I could find it in a minute, but it basically said there's not very many jobs on the planet that will work for me. Yeah, I had to laugh that entrepreneurship, visionary work, and writing, and all of that. It showed me this piece of paper, this booklet showed me that following my intuition has been exactly what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And when you have so many other opinions coming at you, do this, do that, you should be doing, like, so many things in our external world tries to move us. This experience and reading it has been, now, of course, it's in language that I don't identify with, the Western medical language. But what I did was took it and asked some questions in AI and said, translate this into language I understand. And then it was telling me that I should be doing this and this, which is exactly what I'm doing. There was this alignment with this Western medicine that once I figured out how to translate it into something that I understood, I'm right on track.
Yay.
Yay. And I had a really good laugh. My one sass comment will be that the government paid $5,000 to tell me to be a disc jockey.
Isn't that a job that's pretty much going away anyway? Like,
Right?
I know. I was like, wow, okay, that's great.
no.
So yeah,
Maybe they meant at being the wedding DJ.
holy, and that has been something that would have never in a million years crossed my mind. But radio host, like, was another one. Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 of them, but the disc jockey one just made me howl.
We went to an
So
event where there was a DJ. You
we
could
did.
do something like that, but that's like random
Yeah, I
and not
know,
full
like,
time.
and it's never been in my field of awareness, and that's why they do these things, because they want to present you with other options if you've been really linear in your work. But yeah, no, I know I'm supposed to use my voice. I just don't know how that's going to look, but it is in their leadership visionary stuff, the pattern recognition tests and all of that. I was in the 95th percentile of humans. But then the math was in like the 23rd percentile. Like, it's just these polar opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, and it was information you already knew in a
Exactly.
way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's still hope for you for numbers, maybe a little bit.
Tina determined to turn me into a math whiz. And I will remind you that grade 12 math, I did the middle level math, and I'm pretty sure the teacher just felt bad for me and he passed me with a 52. Like, I've never been. But then Christina would retort back with, maybe the
What?
teacher wasn't good.
I do. I think people who don't do well in math, most of them have had bad teachers along the way because there's so many different ways to think of it and look at it. And if you can't, like, yes, it's black and white in terms of an answer, but the processes don't have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I just have brilliant math people around me, and that's how we share our gifts.
Now that
Before
I was just gonna say, now that I've been exposed to so many different ways that you could be learning math, meaning you could be in an art class and learn math. All we have to do is use the spiral graph, like thing, kind of thing, and you can start applying it to artistic things, and then people
Mhm.
are able to grasp it as well. The amount of people that like astrology that are bad at math, it amazes me because I'm like, oh, you're doing math, and yeah,
Is Yeah, and that has been opening my mind. And then one of the tests that we did had like machine parts, and it would say this piece is turning this way and this piece is turning this way. So what does this piece, where's this piece going to go? And I killed it on that. I was like in the 90s for that piece too. And actually that's I think the piece that was the 90 95, and then the pattern recognition was 90, something like that. Those two were the ones that were up there. And I looked at the girl and I'm like, well, it better be in the high 90s, because the positions and the turning and all of that, I'm like, she's you'd make a great mechanic. And I'm like, biomechanics are a thing. I was training human machines, humans that flip and twist and turn the way that you're showing me that these mechanical things are. This one turns this way, this one, of course I can read that. I did it for 30 years on humans, but they
Mm.
didn't put that together.
It
So
doesn't match their matrix protocols. Oh, we have to follow this. Yeah.
because
even
they
when you
should
said
have said, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, even when you said radio hosts, I'm like, even radio is even starting to go away. So this podcast platform, obviously, you're already doing that piece of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It just goes to show out how outdated these tests are when they
No
can't
kidding.
even look at the mechanical pictures that they're showing me and parallel that to gymnastics and say that put a human body there instead of a nut and a bolt or the joints or whatever. And now you're talking biomechanics in humans.
Yeah. And they should have been able to do that because that's been going on since we've had artificial limbs. So
Yeah, we had a whole elective class in university that was biophysics.
yeah.
So I don't, yeah. And now I just got the reading yesterday or the results, and it's going to take a while to dive in and chew on it and do some of the translating. But even at the first 24 hours, the first glance at it, I'm like, this is a waste of money. This isn't showing me real jobs. It didn't give me any, yeah. And like I said, finding the parallel between the human and machine. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to digging deeper in it to translate it. And I don't know, maybe there's a, hey, here's some holes in your process. Why don't you look at it this way? Like that's my gift, is finding the holes. Yeah. Anyways,
Finding
whatever.
holes and them doing anything about them are two different things.
And is it my job? That's the other thing, because just because I can see patterns and I can see where things are missing, I'm learning it's not always my job to fix it or them.
Or that they're even open to being
Exactly.
changed, let alone fixed.
Exactly. And I can remember a girlfriend saying to me, this was years ago, years and years ago. She said, you don't always have to teach, like even in your relationships when you're not like in a podcast or in a class or whatever. She said, you are always teaching. And after reading this thing, I understand why it comes across that way, because I see deeply. I can see. How do you keep your mouth shut? That's the hard part. So, yes, confirmation, I can see way deeper than most humans in the 90th percentile. That doesn't mean I get to say it. That doesn't mean that it's wanted. and there was clarity brought. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this shifts not only how I move forward, but what other kind of aha moments come as I dig deeper into, because it's 22 pages. It's going to take me a bit. And it's numbers and medical talk, and but I'm interested in learning and I'm interested in digging deeper. It also says that I'm very highly likely ADHD, but they didn't pay for that test, so they wouldn't diagnose it in this case. But they said that I should be tested for that as well. Even in the mini little baby one, I was 7 out of 9 were markers for ADHD. But what's that going to change? Because I pretty much guessed that as well.
Yeah, and if you're not going to medicate yourself for it, then you're already doing the things.
Exactly. And I'll not medicate for it. So I'm not going to bother. But then part of me goes, another experiment that I could pick apart another thing. And I'm like,
Don't do it to your body.
like I can't. Following all the little breadcrumb trails. We don't need to do that either.
No, especially when it leads to pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I would just be careful.
Yeah, because that was the first question. The doctor was like, so let's talk about medicine. And I'm like, we're done talking about medicine. That was a quick conversation. We're not doing that. So, yeah. And I think maybe for me, that's why this week blinked, because it was that and processing and sleeping, and that and processing, sleeping, and just allowing my body to heal. And also it took away the frustration, because they're like, this is where you're at on the chart. This is how much more time you need to heal. And so I'm like, okay. And it was like the punisher, the pusher, that part of you that keeps overriding. It just went.
The C is for chronic.
Complex.
Okay. Because that was my next question. I'm like, I thought all PTSD was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
So
So
that makes more sense.
How they define the difference. PTSD can form from one specific incidence, and you can't heal from it. And some people can heal from it quite quickly. Some people can go their whole lives and maybe 20 years later be triggered once, and then they get over it and it's done. It's like like a one car accident could cause PTSD, or a violent act, or whatever, one thing. CPTSD is when, and it usually comes from childhood, and it is consistent throughout your entire life. There's always something, and your nervous system, it attacks the nervous system, and then it stays in that fight or flight. And yeah, that's where we're sitting. So I don't know enough about it yet to know if it is healable, but the assessment and the disability is forever. So once you're on disability, the government will help you for the rest of your life. Can I heal it? That's my plan. That's why we're here. But now I just have to learn more about it, because it is quite new, apparently, too. I can't remember in the 20s, like it's only been within the last 10 years, if not 5 years, that they've actually, it is a thing. I don't know the medical language for how they document, but every divergence has a number and a letter in the medical codes. Like there's coding for every label, but CPTSD is one of the newer ones. So, yeah. So I get to learn about that now. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this week, and still tracking what's going on in the world. But I'm finding pulling back, not engaging on social media as much. Anne Marie had her book, like we've done some work in her community with our writing. We have to have our chapters in next week, Monday. So that's been fun, writing, and I hadn't written in a long time, so that was fun. Anne Marie, how are you coming on your writing? How are you feeling about how things are going?
Good. I finished one of I didn't finish, but I wrote down one chapter and I started the second chapter and I was looking at, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to write a summary or a review, not a review, something to wrap it all up at the end. I'm writing something like that.
Closing.
Closing, yes, thank you. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yes, I wrote it by hand. That's how it flows easiest from me. So I wrote it by hand. I've got my book here, and then I'll go into here's my laptop where I will actually type it, but I'll probably do it in my office. So yeah, it's plugging along. And yeah, I haven't reached out to everybody, so I'm just hoping everyone's doing okay.
Yeah.
I only got internet yesterday.
So how was your couple of days with no internet in your house?
Amazing.
That is also
reading a book.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I was reading an unusual book, but a good book.
Unusual can be very good sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. It's The Raw Material, RA, and it's book one of a bunch. It's interesting. It's not mainstream at
Christina
all.
was here. We went to a Crystal Flash bookstore, and for the first time in years, I bought 3 books. One of them being a Castaneda book and a children's book. And then I can't remember what the third one was. But yeah, I also want to, and that's part of the pullback too, getting back into the handheld books instead of reading off your phone. Why are we reading social media posts when we could be reading novels? Writers. Yeah. But it's pattern and routine, and I'm actively trying to shift that too.
Mm-hmm. I found I wasn't on social media a whole lot. I did some scrolling on my phone before I was ready to read, and then when I was ready to read, I'm like, why did I do that? So it's just awareness and whatever. So yeah. My book is still on my table with the reading light because what I look at is city lights, small city lights, but it's pretty. So I don't want to close my blinds. And therefore, I also don't want to turn on lights because people can see in. So I haven't quite figured out the dynamic of that and how that's going to work. And my blinds only go up. So I might make some, I don't know, get some of the lace stuff and just give myself a little more, but maybe people don't walk by it. And I don't know. Still have some, so I don't want to turn on all the lights. And all I have here are pot lights. I do have some lamps, but I don't have enough plugs because this is a 1972 house. And I don't have plugs everywhere. I also don't want to trip on plugs.
At Home Depot, you can get privacy sticky stuff. I had it in my massage room. I covered my windows in my massage room with it so the light can still come through. But if you just did the bottom 3 feet, because she's got like floor to ceiling windows.
Yeah.
Do the bottom 3 feet with that fuzzy stuff, then the light still comes in and people can't see in.
Ah, is it removable too?
Oh yeah, it's just like a sticky pole.
Oh, and what's it called?
I can help you do it. I love
sticky stuff. It's like window cling or something.
Film.
Oh, okay.
Window cling vinyl, something like that.
Privacy film, sunscreen, something.
I'll go have a look at that tomorrow. Yeah, because I'm south-facing and I have just beautiful views. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, and Michonne? Have you been reading at all?
No, I actually don't. I absolutely do not read anything book-wise on my phone. I never have, never got into it, just don't like it. And my brother has something he wants me to read that's about 156 pages on my phone, and I've been trying to get through it for a few months, and I just am not.
It's not right to read off your phone, is it? It's just something's not right. You need to flip pages.
Yeah.
And I've read that your eye movement when you're reading on a screen is different when you read in a book. Like when you read on a screen, that your eyes go all the way across and then back and down. But when you read in a book, it goes more diagonal. So your eye pattern is different.
Interesting.
I can't
Probably why it's
read
not
on a
so
screen
fun.
very well either.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't focus on the screen.
Honestly, I have not read as much as I used to since COVID, and I don't really have an answer. It's been something I've been realizing because I have books here that I have still from in a to be read pile from around that time. Still,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think with
Yeah, I
everything
did
that's
do a lot
happened
of
in the
reading
world
then.
the last little while, that's why everybody's turned digitally. But I think we're going to see the inversion and the handheld things and the face-to-face circles and the one-on-one. We're going to see that come back.
Yeah.
I sure hope so.
And I think there's just going to be a little bit of I don't know what you want to call it while we try to figure out how we can still use these types of things to connect and notify and get more people involved, but not constantly be there for content or whatnot. And I don't know, I already see it. And I'm sure Facebook's kind of dying. I have no intention of getting on any new social media platform. Once these two are dead, they're dead. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new way has to come in, right? We
Yeah.
see how Zuckerberg's getting hammered. And so they are going to go away.
Yeah.
So it's just, do you just stay with it as it demises or do you just karate chop it and be done? That's where I'm sitting. I'm at that space that, am I done?
But
I'm
I
really
think they
tired
are
of all of
tools.
this.
And it's like Michonne was saying, like it's a matter of what good can we take from it and still have them as tools without that being your companion.
Right.
And I think AI is helping kill it too, because people are getting so sick of the inauthenticity that we're seeing. You don't
Yeah.
even know anymore if something's real or not.
Yeah. And it's getting so good. Like even some of the talking head videos that are AI, some of them aren't, like you can't even tell. This horsewoman that I follow, she did a post a couple of days ago that she's like, this picture, oh look it, I'm pregnant in this picture. Oh look, I'm having a baby over here. And la la la. She's like, all these stories and they look real. It looks like her. And then that's not even my husband. If they're gonna make fake pictures, at least use my real husband.
Wow.
And yeah, how can you show up authentically when
Nothing's authentic.
nothing, people are starting to think nothing is real online anymore. And
Yeah.
we're watching the burn. We just don't know if it's going to be a slow burn or a blow up. We'll see. We got the Scorpio full moon this weekend. Who knows what's going to happen?
That is something that came in for me that I have been anticipating this week that my boss hasn't scheduled yet, but we had a brief discussion last week about remaining competitive and stuff, so we're probably going to have to start bringing something more trainable in and working with it that way. So he had been playing with something that he was going to set up a meeting to walk me through and then figure out what's next. And as much as I would like to remain a Luddite, I also understand that this is now a global competition as well. Yeah.
Ride or die. Like it's how do we, but I think with us coming in with such awareness and consciousness and discernment around it. And Christina and I dabbled deep with ChatGPT for a couple of months because I also want to understand not what we're up against, but can this be an ally? And I'm hearing more creators around the AI stuff. Literally, even our book publisher called the group out and said, don't be writing your chapters with AI. We know the patterns now. We can sniff it before, as soon as you start reading it, if it's too much AI in it. And the messaging out there is getting stronger around make sure it's your original idea and then get the AI to back it up. It's you can use it as a tool, but it's not supposed to be the creator. It cannot replace humans. It cannot
Mhm.
replace our channel, our creativity, our emotional depth. It can't. So you have to lead with that. And so how do we treat it as an ally and use it authentically? And I think that's what we're seeing. People are trying to figure that out right now. And again, just like how Anne Marie is moving, I can't wait to hear how this AI integration goes with you, Michonne, because I know you don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm part of it is that why you're not paying me to train your robot.
Right.
Why should I pay to use something that I now have to friggin' train?
Yeah. Because they obviously don't know how it works.
And they don't give me love and affection like my dog, so.
Yeah, dogs are smarter.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my bigger pet peeves is, yeah, the free labor they get off of all of us that pay to use it now. But
Yeah.
and the other problem I guess that I have is there's no checks and balances in place. I've seen too much like outright lies come out of Chat GPT that I'm like, oh, and so what is the checks and balances? And the fact of the matter is that when I can ask the same question to 4 different AIs and get 4 different flavors of answers, well, I realize that is human-esque for sure.
Perspective is everything. Yep.
I also have you think that there should be a right and a wrong, but ultimately this thing was programmed by humans. So any bias that a human has is ultimately encoded inside of these AI items. And yeah, that it's the checks and balances and everybody believing it and then losing the ability to do for themselves or critically think or be able to say, I'm not just going to copy and paste that because I know that's a wrong answer. And so I feel as the younger generations try to rely on it more, that's who's at the most danger of just believing nonsensical stuff that an AI told you.
But that is part of history, humans believing nonsensical stuff. So now it's coming from AI instead of other humans. It doesn't make it any better or any worse, but
no, but if AI's like telling you like wrong things that are been scientifically proven, and I get what you're saying, yes, misinformation the whole time, but it's like saying it's like an AI tells you like x-rays are going to give you cancer now, are you not going to get an x-ray when you break your friggin' arm because the AI told you this other thing? Yeah.
Same thing with women getting mammograms. That discussion's been going on for decades.
AI doesn't have the human filter for the research that, if you want to call it research, that it finds. So whether it finds one line in something somewhere or 10,000 articles, they're going to cite it to be just as reliable. Even if it was like somebody said something in a Reddit post once, they're going to cite that as factual.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
discernment is going to be the next human mastery.
Yeah. When you can't believe everything on the internet, except the AIs are believing everything on the internet. So.
That's right.
So humans again will outlast. I don't want to say superior because we're not going to get into that conversation, but AI still doesn't have emotional intelligence.
I do think that there is a place for some AI stuff. I'm not certain that it should just be in the hands of the general population.
And that has been the way for a very long time. And they're now just dabbling with giving it to us. AI has been used for a very long time before we knew about it.
Yeah.
But most of the general population is using it to make memes and stupid videos and like
Pictures. Like they're not even, yeah.
it's the goldfish mentality, 30 seconds. Yeah.
So it's the ones, it's the people that are up in these kind of vibrations that are dabbling and trying to figure it out. And that's what they're saying. If people like us keep having these conversations and making sure that discernment is part of the conversation, I think that is going to be the healthiest, safest way moving forward. And having people to help you with the checks and balances. They may not have it in, but that doesn't mean that we can't protect each other. Even when I was talking about the astrology stuff, you came in and said, hey, don't forget about this. And this is probably what's happening. And I appreciated that. That I think is where the human piece comes in, is having your people and asking for checks and balances from your community, from your groups, from your people. Because even with this assessment, and I have accumulated other people's trained chatbots through other businesses that I've been playing with. And I did an experiment, discernment. I put the 10 pages into one trained chat GPT, and then I put them in the other one and asked the same question to see, like you just said, if I would get two different answers. They weren't exactly the same. The flavor was there, the wording was different, but they were pretty similar. But I always will do those checks and balances because of how deep we dove in last summer. I guess it was about a year ago. Hey, Christina, that we went deep into that.
That's right.
When we were writing shamanic leadership, and yeah. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how humans choose to merge in with AI. So does anybody else have anything else to say about that? We're just coming up on our hour.
That went fast.
I think discernment and critical thinking is the same, isn't it, basically? Because that's my beef these days, is people can't think. People can't think for themselves. And I'm looking at what that is reflecting back on me, but it's, oh my God. I want to go live in the country.
Almost there. Almost there.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great then. So we will think about that, keep our experiments going. And this full moon is coming up on the 1st. Is there anything you want to leave us with, Michonne, maybe to dream into as we're heading into this full moon in a couple days here?
Just allow your emotional stuff to come up and flow. The Scorpio full moon is going to be really trying to shine a light on things that have been hidden. And so those might be deep emotional undercurrents that you haven't acknowledged. So.
A deep dive this weekend into the Scorpion depths. Love it. It's my favorite.
But don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't never.
Hold your fear in your hand and go in, do the work. Because
yeah. Thanks, Michonne. Yeah,
You're
it's going to be
welcome.
very interesting. And it's tied to our North Node, I think. This is a big one. This next month we're walking through is going to be really transformational. So it's exciting. So happy dreaming, happy full moon, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you later.